expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers, and we are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show in the hope that it will be entertaining and informative for our viewers and listening audience.
Good Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. Tonight, sponsored by Miracle Automotive and Towing in Stark and McClenny. When you have an automotive crisis, don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle. And by On My Way, the app that pays you not to use your phone. Avoid texting and driving. Use On My Way. Visit our Facebook page for the link to sign up. This is your show coming to you on Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday and Saturday night. You control and run this show. We are just the rudder that steers this big old vessel. We bring it to you first for education, discussion, and debate of local news, politics, and sports, as well as the latest on the COVID-19 situation and breaking news around the nation. We have you covered from Middleburg to Waller to Williston, from Melrose to McIntosh, from Lake City to Lake Butler to Lake Como, from Lottie to Lulu. Didn't see anybody's relatives today, and all points in between, including Gainesville, Palatka, Ocala, and, of course, right here in beautiful Stark, Florida. Now, here's your on-the-spot team making it happen every single week. First, putting it all together behind the scenes, our executive producer, Super Dave Allen. Say hello, David.
Hello, everybody.
And keeping the flow to the show is our director, and sitting in right now from Mr. Byron Bagwell and Mr. Mitchell Leonard. You got double duty tonight.
I got double duty tonight.
Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater. Say hello, Michael.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Rounding out the team is Austin Storm Chaser Stephen with the latest and weather updates, but he's on special assignment tonight. And our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Dulles, and the great staff at the Bradford County Telegraph. Up first is our historian, who's not with us tonight, and governmental whiz, Byron, the freedom fighter Bagwell. You do know he's on special assignment. We got him checking out a couple of things.
Yes,
so hopefully he'll be on the show, and he'll be back with us shortly. And then, of course, our local voice on current events, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, who will be joining us later on in the hour. All right, I'm your host, David Rodgers, voice of the Bradford High Tornadoes, and
the show.
The show pony.
The show, guys. We're coming to you live from the On the Spot studios right here along historic Call Street in beautiful downtown Stark, Florida. Only 437 miles from Fingerville, South Carolina. Really? My goodness, I'm not even going there. I'm not touching that one. Let's go.
At least I was indicating which finger.
Yes, you were. Yes,
okay.
I was hoping you weren't indicating the other finger. All right, so let's get started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic wisdom and quote of the week. Let us bow our heads, please. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank you again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for allowing us this time to bring this show to all our viewers and to all our people here in our county, in our region, and wherever they may be watching, dear Lord. As we give out the information, they take the information, dear Lord, and they decipher and do as they will with it. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, dear Lord, the United States of America, with our rights and our freedoms that we all have, dear Lord. Just keep blessing us, keep blessing this nation. Bless all of our leaders as well, dear Lord. Thank you for the greatest armed forces in the world today. That's the United States Armed Forces, as they are out there fighting for our freedoms and our rights and our liberties, dear Lord. Keep a hedge of protection over them as they go out and continue to do the job to keep this country safe. Please bring them home to their families as they need to be fit, dear Lord. Thank you for the food that we receive each and every day, and it goes in the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Any spoken or unspoken prayer request, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them. You're the ultimate healer, dear Lord. You're the ultimate one. Just touch each and every one of them. You know what's on their hearts and what's on their mind and what's in their souls, dear Lord. And you know that you can take care of it for them, dear Lord. Thank you again for this week, the rest of the week that we're going to have, the upcoming weekend, dear Lord, as we're going to have people out and about, dear Lord. Just keep a hedge of protection over each and every one of them. And we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. The congregation says, Amen. All right. Let us stand for the pledge. And I'm going to ask our director, Mr. Michael Reeder, to lead us in.
Absolutely.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. My name is David Rodgers. To my right here is our director, Mr. Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater. And back in the back, of course, is our producer, Dave Holland. We will have Mitchell Gunner joining us in just a little bit later. And we also have Mr. Bagwell out on special assignment. As we always do, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you're ready for our special guest, as y'all all know. And if you've seen on Facebook, Miss Stacy Creighton, the superintendent of schools, also trying to seek re-election, will be here with us tonight here in just a few minutes. But as always, as we have to do, Michael, we've got things we got to get to. And, of course, we've got to pay the bills as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So you said you had a patriotic quote. You did tell me a little bit about it, and I love it. Tell everybody what you got.
Actually, when I got caught off guard by filling in for Byron, I thought, well, just in case, I better come up with a quote. And so what I came up with was this. It has never been more prevalent in today's society that information is easy. It's the truth that's hard to find.
That's a good one.
Very good.
That is a really good one. Where'd you get that at, Mike?
It's actually listed as anonymous where I got it. I like to take credit for it, but unfortunately I can't. But it was source unknown is how it was presented.
Wow, we had a source unknown the last week as well, so I've got one here too.
Yeah.
It's hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Do you know who that said that?
I'm willing to bet it was David Rodgers 10 seconds ago.
It was, but I can't take credit for it either, like you couldn't take credit for that last one.
Einstein.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, yes.
Don't Teddy Roosevelt said that. So we're going to go on. Before we delve into today's latest, we want to recognize our great sponsors who have been supporting our great show. This is what we call our sponsor spotlight. Fun Point Food and Arcade, Southern Gem Photography, Miracle Automotive and Recovery, and Dependable Waste Services.
Absolutely. Hey, Williams Jewelry on Call Street, On the Spot Lawn Maintenance, Schuster and Saban Law Offices, and, of course, the staff at the Downtown Grill, Harry Business of Stark, home of the $10 haircut, Boogie Nights DJ service, and, of course, Brittany Leanne Creations.
No props into that one, is there? All right. And our newest sponsor, On My Way. Get paid cash for every mile you and your friends drive without texting or using your phone. You get paid 5 cents cash for every mile you drive and don't text. Check out the On the Spot link on our Facebook page, On My Way, the app that saves lives. And now here's the 360, taking you around the region with news and weather in just 6 minutes. It's 360 degrees in 360 seconds. Tonight brought to you by Fun Point Food and Arcade and Stark. Check out the all-new menu on Facebook or www.funpointstark.com. An attempted traffic stop in Newberry on Sunday led to a high-speed chase involving multiple agencies. Florida Highway Patrol was unable to successfully use a pit maneuver to stop a driver clocked, ladies and gentlemen, at over 100 miles per hour. Alachua County deputies used stop sticks, causing the car to drive into a ditch. Joshua Day was arrested and charged with fleeing, possession of drug paraphernalia, and reckless driving. Columbia County deputies arrested a homicide suspect from Georgia after a traffic stop on Friday. Lee Mayhew is a suspect in a homicide in Bullock County, Georgia, and had active federal warrants for weapons offenses and was suspected of other burglaries. High Springs Police and Alachua County deputies responded to a home in the 24,000 block of Northwest 190th Avenue in High Springs earlier today for a report of an explosive device. Wow. According to police, a relative of a dead family member located explosive devices in the home, possibly old military grenades. The sheriff's office bomb squad secured the items with no injuries. Roads were temporarily closed in that area, but since then have been reopened. Condolences are still coming in after Ocala Police Chief Greg Graham has died after a single-engine plane went down in Dunellen on Sunday. At 11:30 a.m. Sunday morning, emergency crews responded to the 9700 block of Southwest 140th Avenue for a plane crash. Chief Graham was identified as the solo occupant of the plane and was pronounced dead on the scene. The plane crash is under investigation by the Federal Aviation Administration. Chief Graham served the people of Ocala for more than 30 years. He served as police chief since 2012. Can I elaborate on this story a little bit? I work with a guy, his name is Dean May. He is actually working with me because he's out on an injury with me, so he's doing some light duty.
Right.
This was Dean May's brother-in-law.
Really?
Yep, and he told me about this today, and he told me that the chief had flown the day before, was going to Dunellen to fuel the plane up. He was coming back, and there was some engine failure. The chief, being the good pilot he was, actually landed the aircraft. Now, this is the report he's getting. So we're updating this right here. He actually landed the plane, and when he went down, he hit, and everything was fine, and he hit a big hole. It was like one big pot. And what it did is it nosedived the plane, flipped the plane over, and then it came down on him and it crushed him. He would have been fine. He landed that plane with no engine, landed it in that field, and like I said, hit a hole, flipped over, and it crushed him.
Pothole.
So unfortunate because I hear he was a very good guy
He
too.
was well known.
Flagler County detectives have been working since October 23rd to gather intelligence and data on the locations of a 30-year-old Jamal Bell and 13-year-old Alexander Garrett in unrelated missing persons cases. Neither subject is in Flagler County at this time. There is currently no evidence to suggest either missing person is the victim of any foul play. Anyone with information of Jamal Bell or Alexander Garrett is asked to call 386-313-4911. Over the weekend, Marion County deputies conducted a traffic stop at the 17,300 block of Southeast 17th Lane because the driver, William Kuntz, was not wearing a seatbelt. Kuntz then fled on foot and jumped numerous fences before he was caught and placed under arrest.
Brilliant.
Kuntz later admitted to having a used syringe of fentanyl hidden inside his shoe. He was charged with resisting arrest, possession of drug paraphernalia. Unbelievable. Over in Baker County, a 14-year-old male nearly drowned attempting to cross the St. Mary's River, but is expected to recover following the rescue at the Steel Bridge Road boat ramp. He was flown to the hospital as a precaution.
The last update that we got this afternoon was that he's expected to be discharged either tomorrow or the next day, making a full recovery.
Hey, nice. That was great.
Lucky young man.
Lucky young man. Very lucky. Bradford Touch a Truck in the city of Stark will be hosting a haunted trail for small children on Saturday, Halloween night at the Edwards Road Sports Complex. Volunteers are still needed. What do you need, Michael, on that?
Bodies. And they don't have to be alive. We're actually looking for volunteers to help us with the distribution of candy, as well as anyone who'd like to do some role play. We're also looking for basically some safety eyes to help out here. We're enforcing social distancing and encouraging families to come in smaller groups, and we're going to keep everybody separated. But what we really need is some role players to help us with the little ghoulish action, so to speak, little switch and bait, little distraction, that sort of thing like that. More information is available, and I believe you've got some more information on it.
Yeah, On the Spot is a proud sponsor of that event, organized by the Dragon Slayer himself for ages 4 to 10 and runs from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. Volunteers are needed, like he just said, to help with a variety of roles, both in costume or out. And I do believe that we're going to be doing that show from there Saturday night if everything goes right?
Hopefully, if things work out, we'll see how things how we play out. That sort of thing. We do have a location for On the Spot to broadcast live from the Edwards Road Sports Complex on Edwards Road down by the police station by the new splash pad.
If you would like to help, contact Michael Heater via Facebook or email, BradfordTouchATruck@gmail.com. And finally, over the weekends...
Hold on.
Okay.
I want to get comfy for this one because you haven't seen the story yet, and I want to see the reaction.
Oh, okay. Oh, boy, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in. And finally, over the weekend, Citrus County Animal Control picked up a friendly stray parrot in the area of Oklahoma Sassa and is believed to be someone's pet. Officials are asking for the community's help. If it is not too much of a burden... Yeah, we said it. To call the Citrus Office Communication Center at 352-249-2790 and ask for an animal control officer. You may also contact the shelter at 352-746-8400. Guys, that sounded like a setup. Really? Yeah, you wouldn't do that, would you? Yeah.
Sound like you were put on the spot.
Here now is your weather update, sponsored by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook for the latest information. Turn it over right here to Michael, the Dragon Slayer Heater, who is going to give us that weather.
Hey, sounds good. Hey, thanks, David. All eyes are on Tropical Storm Zeta as it moves into the central Gulf of Mexico. Zeta will not directly threaten our region, but the Florida West Coast could see some mild effects. They're already talking about some storm surge coming in from Yankeetown, going all the way out towards Texas. Locally, look for isolated afternoon and evening thunderstorms as we wrap up this evening and heading into tomorrow. Now, the next couple of days will be windy with near record high temperatures in the upper 80s, pushing 90 degrees. Southwest winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and scattered thunderstorms Thursday afternoon and evening becoming very strong, with gusty winds 50 to 55 miles per hour are possible in and around Bradford County. On Friday, cooler and drier conditions following the frontal passage will give us some sunny skies, breezy northwest winds, about 15 miles per hour. Maximum temperatures are going to be more seasonable, highs in the mid-70s, and lows dropping off into the 50s as we approach Halloween. Now, a slow development of a system could be possible as we're watching the front move through the area, but we're anticipating some beautiful conditions as we go into Halloween. Hey, real quick, also on the wildfire front,
we always definitely.
Colorado continues to be the top priority with 6 large fires burning, over 447,000 acres ablaze. 2 new large fires broke out in California earlier today, bringing the total to 19 of the 52 fires burning across the country. Now, meanwhile, in the central U.S., it's not fire, it's ice.
Oh boy.
Believe it or not, areas of snow, sleet, and freezing rain will continue from the southern Rockies into the southern high plains. Tonight, over 2 million people are without power as ice builds is expected to get worse as we go through the evening tonight.
Wow.
Temperatures are already in the 20s, and it is dropping. Wind chill factors approaching 0. Oklahoma, central Oklahoma area, getting the worst of it as we speak. Up to 2 inches of ice are very possible and likely between now and tomorrow morning. Ice storm warnings are posted from Oklahoma City all the way to the North Texas border. Back to you, David.
Wow. I do have one question on the weather here. We're going to pray for these people that are out without power, and, of course, the fires out there that are going out west. For the game on Friday night, the homecoming game here in Stark, beautiful Stark at David Rodgers Stadium, homecoming week.
Oh.
You know, we're all involved with that thing.
Yeah.
Tell me what it's going to be like. Can you give me a prediction, or can you tell me?
4 words for you.
Beautiful.
Chamber of Commerce weather. We're looking at crystal clear blue skies, a wind out of the northwest at about 8 to 10 miles per hour at the start of the parade. Looking at low humidities, temperatures going to be around 70 to 71 degrees at the start of the parade, topping out around 74 or 75 in Stark as the parade and everything ends. The homecoming game itself is going to be amazing. Temperatures going to be dropping off quickly. I'd bring a light jacket if I were you, because temperatures will probably be in the 60s at kickoff and dropping down into the mid to lower 60s by the end of the game.
That sounds like perfect weather right here for us. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. I'm fired up and ready to go. Thank you once again, Michael. This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find AWS on Facebook and get a local forecast sent right to you. And now here's our newest segment that brings back a little history. Here's What's the Date? These are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the last week of October in what year?
Here we go.
Bradford due $217,800 in new federal shared funds. Comprehensive rezoning plan to be prepared for Stark. And city raises delayed by wage board. City raises delayed by wage board. All right. What's that? October of 1969? October of 1972? Or October of 1975? Bradford due $217,800 in new federal shared funds. Comprehensive rezoning plan to be prepared for Stark. And city raises delayed by the wage board. Was that October of 1969? October of 1972? October of 1975? I tell you what, this is, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show, and I know we want to get to our special guest tonight, but we're going through our show format. This is where you can play as the viewers here. You can take a guess, and you'll be put into a drawing I guess it would have to be Saturday, right?
It is Saturday.
Saturday, somebody will get a $25 gift card to.
That is correct. A $25 gift card to the Downtown Grill. We will be drawing one name out of all the recipients. We've had winners throughout the month of October.
We've got 7 winners right now, I do believe. So
that is correct. We've got
winners.
7 names so far. We're going to add to that list for anyone that gets this correct. I will give you guys a hint. It's one of the 3 years David mentioned.
All right, that sounds great, Michael. Well, I sure appreciate that one, and so does our. Give us elaborate on that a little bit.
Okay, sure. So a new federal revenue sharing act was signed into law in Washington, D.C., with cities and states receiving a little extra federal money. Bradford County and the municipalities would split an estimated $217,800, with $114,000 going to Bradford County, $80,000 to the city of Stark, and the remainder of the money split between Hampton, Brooker, and Lodi. A new zoning ordinance and a comprehensive rezoning for the city of Stark was discussed at the first official meeting of the city's new zoning board. That's a hint. The city's new zoning board was formed in October of this particular year. A detailed study of the zoning ordinance approved in 1953 was the first step to update and modify amendments to that ordinance. And finally, while the city of Stark approved a $1.3 million budget the week before, the IRS Wage and Price Control Board informed City Clerk Merrill Edwards that city raises must not exceed 5.5%, and incentive pay for training must be included for any raises that were given out.
Wow. Again, was that October of 1969, October of 1972, or October of 1975? Dave, give it to me.
72.
David Hollins, 72. Michael,
Yeah,
pass?
Yeah, I kind of.
All right, I'm going to go. Man, something tells me this happened in 1969. I'm going David R. 1969.
Okay.
All right, I got a 1972, and we'll get some more. You got one?
Let's go with B.
Okay, 72. Okay. Sherry?
I'll do 75.
You can do 75. All right. 75. That sounds good.
I've got a bunch of names that are popping up here.
Do you? All right. Are you on the regular or are you on the watch party?
I'm on the regular.
Okay.
And they are piling in here. Boy,
Yeah,
you see this?
well, I am, and I was just getting ready to get to that, so I'll do that if you'll watch out for the dates.
Absolutely.
All right, and then just keep going. Judith Sally, good evening. Thank you for that compliment, by the way, about the prayer. That's the way we always open up our show.
Yeah.
Jennifer said that was a great quote. Sandy's on tonight. Carrie Groves. I know Paige Anderson Smith. Yep. Debbie Burton's on. Lori Thomas Johns is on. Shirley Bagwell is on. Melissa Delk is on. And you're welcome. John Probst is on. Lauren DeVico is on. Monica Nicole Roden is on. Paige Smith Anderson. What did I excuse? What you didn't miss anything. We're just getting started.
That's exactly right.
Lauren DeVico. You get some wine ready. Okay, well, I don't know about that. I can't drink tonight. Sharon Pettiprint is on. Stephanie Loafer is on. Fun Poem, yep, we go there a lot. Glenn Brian Wagner's watching and listening. Jennifer Starling Hart. Barry Bagwell says, nothing like a nice pineapple. There you go. Donald Stevens is watching. Karen Jackson's watching. I'm telling you what, we've got over 100 people tonight. Yes, ma'am, Miss Paige Anderson. There is a special guest tonight. We are fixing to bring in the current superintendent of schools right now, Miss Stacy Creighton, here in just a couple of minutes. Praying for the families again. Sure hope so. They got to pay bills. Yep, we got to pay bills.
Oh, yes.
Always. I plan on helping Michael Heater. Tara Hildebrand says she plans on helping you.
Outstanding. Tara, hit me up on Facebook or send me an email. I have the perfect assignment for you and your clan if you're coming out. I appreciate it.
Lauren, you're welcome. We try to do everything for the kids. The kids is really what's important to all of us, but as well as everybody else in the community as well. Dave, are you on a watch party or are you on the regular?
I'm on the regular.
You're on the regular, okay? Mark Goody's on. Eddie Sigmund's on. Keith Davis is on. Karen Jackson, Madison Street Church tomorrow night from 6 to 8. We're going to start having a little, there we go. Will Smith, I told him I would. Lake Hill, BC, and Keystone, 5 and 7. Between 5 and 7. There you go. Lake Hill, and Keystone. Okay, yeah, I know what you're saying now. Carrie Groves, they're so funny. Yeah, I hope you meant to say that. Angela Ford Davis, and we can keep going on and on and on. I want to right now welcome in as Michael is getting the tally. Welcome in our superintendent of schools, Miss Stacy Creighton. Come on in, Stacy. Let's get to the camera right here. You can say hello to everybody as we got a lot of people on tonight.
Hi, everybody.
All right. Well, let's just get started. Amy Wilkerson Hawkins says currently are Brooker and Hampton self-funded by their own student numbers?
Our numbers are lower this year due to COVID, but we hope that that it will spring back when people feel comfortable sending their kids back. We still have a few still in virtual, but they are small schools, but we're proud of those schools.
So, hey, right off the bat, we're already going. I was going to have Stacy tell a little bit about herself for some people that don't know her or people that were coming on, and we'll get to that here in just a second. Another part, she says, if you don't close Hampton and Broker, but many of those families choose our new state-of-the-art elementary school, how will you continue to fund the smaller schools, if you're willing?
Well, obviously, if there's no one attending them, we wouldn't keep them open. But they have a very strong community support in both areas, especially Brooker. But obviously, people will have the choice of where to send their kids based on room. And
right.
If we get all of our kids back, and it's the middle school and south side, it will be full. It will be more than full.
Gotcha.
So it will definitely depend on what room is there before they can take anyone out of zone.
I gotcha. Well, we got just a little bit of a break here. Mr. Michael Heater is going to be bringing in some questions, going to be watching the comments and everything. For people that don't know you, I know we're a week out from the election, and of course the big general election as well. So November 3rd, again, we'll talk about this here in a little bit, but please vote. Your vote counts. Some people say, oh, my vote don't count. Yes, it does. Believe you me. I think as a lot of these races are, a lot of races are going to be close. Every vote counts, and I think Ms. Craig will definitely will agree with that. So, for just a couple of minutes, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Not from personally what Stacey Creighton's about, your family, what you do for fun.
And graduated with my Juris Doctorate with honors, and have been home with my kids when I decided to get involved with their school. They, like I said, they started going to Lottie Elementary. They started in Gail Austin's pre-K class, and we were part of the PTO and the SAC, and then I decided in 2006 to run for office for school board, and was reelected 3 times before I chose to run for superintendent of schools in 2016. And now I'm running for re-election. My husband and I have been married 25 years. We've got 4 daughters. Bailey, which is at FSU Medical School. Chelsea, which is at Belhaven University in Jackson, Mississippi, playing volleyball and getting her degree. She wants to go on to be a orthodontist, and she hopes to attend the Ole Miss, which is right there in Jackson. So
right.
She has fell in love with that city and state. Ashley is a senior at the high school this year, and Sabrina, my youngest one, is a sophomore at the high school. And I'm soon going to be out of the school, being a school parent business.
Right.
But as a family, we love to travel. That's probably our most enjoyable hobby. I can say all 4 of my kids are great travelers, and they love it. And we're pretty simple folk. We live right there in Lottie, and we have for over 20 years. And my husband has commuted for 20 years to the Jacksonville airport, where he has either flown to his base in Houston, Newark, New Jersey, Washington, D.C., Guam. He has he's made it possible for us to stay here because he has taken on the role of the commuter, and it's been hard on him, and I can't thank him enough for living where we live. So
your husband is a pilot, right?
Right.
Yeah, pilot. That's good.
777 pilot at United Airlines.
United Airlines. Okay. All right. Hey, also, want to tell all our audience, Miss Stacey Creighton, after Mr. Hartley came on, asked if she could come back on again. We had the opening, so we did do that. But I want to let everybody know that I did give Mr. Will Hartley a chance to come on the show as well. We had numerous conversations, numerous times since that. He has some commitments that he has to fulfill. so he won't be able to be on the show on Tuesday, but you're here now, and then on Saturday as well, unless some plans change. If they do, I extend the invite again to him so he can come on and share his thoughts and ask any questions that y'all may have as well. So just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that the playing field was fair. It's even across the line, and we just happen to have Miss Creighton tonight. And again, unfortunate for Mr. Hartley, he had some commitments tonight, but maybe Saturday night it'll be different. So the invitation is out there. Couple of things.
I was willing to come on with him.
Absolutely.
I didn't mind that at all.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So I've got a question right here, and of course we're going to get to our answer. I know everybody's, what's the answer to that question? We'll get to it, I promise.
Is there anything that we can do with the audio? Some people say they're having a little bit of a...
We're working on it.
Okay. So working on the audio. Okay. We promise that we'll try to speak up as loud as we can. Stacey, if I can just get you to speak up just a little bit. All right. So here we go. I had a question. I'm friends with a lot of teachers and a lot of parents, and this question actually comes from some of your union teachers, and they wanted to know this. At the debate, you referenced that the teachers union was a Democratic-run organization trying to hurt the Republican candidates' chances of winning. But here in Bradford County, over 60% of our 260 union members are actually registered Republicans. What do you say to those Republican members about how both sides can work together on the issues that are causing members to file grievances? And second, what do you would say to those employees who are Democrats or independents, and why should they support Stacey Creighton?
Well, I believe we have a great track record of working with our union and our teachers. We've given a pay raise every year. We've reduced their health benefit costs by 12% over 4 years. We've had no increase in there. We have a 94% teacher retention rate. We have a new teacher academy that's supporting our newest teachers. So I believe that we've made a lot of steps. However, I do think that there's an element in the Bradford Education Association that I'm not making it up. They posted this on their Facebook page, and I can read it, and y'all can show it. It said, the blue wall is coming, and believe me, the Republicans are going to pay for it. Vote blue, no matter who, November 3rd, 2020. That's not an imagination. That actually was posted as the Republican candidate. I believe it was directed at me when they say that. I have always been a Republican since I was 18 years old. However, in no campaign have I ever been targeted for being one. And I believe that's changed this year. And do I think the majority of the teachers agree with that? Absolutely not. But nonetheless, that was posted on the BEA page. So I look forward to working with the teachers union for the next 4 years to improve things in Bradford County, and I think we have improved. I know we have improved things in Bradford County the last 4.
I gotcha. All right. Again, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. Special guest tonight, Miss Stacey Creighton, Superintendent of Schools. Mr. Dave Holland, producing the show back there. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
Oh, well, okay. Michael Heater is over there typing up some questions, keeping us flowing with the show as well. Mitchell Gunner finally joined us. Hello, Mitchell.
How y'all doing? Had to work a little late today, so that's the
some of
being on call for the county, I guess.
Some of the people are wondering. They say, "Do you work for a living?"
Oh yeah, I work.
I'm only kidding. So, anyway, we'll continue on with some questions. Michael, we're going to have our answer to that question here shortly.
Yeah, whenever you're ready for it.
I'm ready. Whenever you are. Let's do it, and then we'll continue on. How about that?
Okay, well, that sounds good then. Let's go ahead and zip over here like that one. So, real quick here, Bradford due $217,800 in new federal shared funds, a comprehensive rezoning plan to be prepared for Stark, and city raises delayed by wage board. These were the headlines in the last week of October of what year. I have written down the names there. We had a huge turnout tonight.
Yep.
And I will go ahead and give you a little bit of a hint. The list that you have in front of you, the largest group, was accurate. Ladies and gentlemen, these were the headlines from October of 1972.
Wow! Hey, all right. Well, look at here. All you guys.
Finally got one
David,
right.
David Holland, you don't get in there. Stacy will have a name put in there. Jennifer Weller, Carissa Frederickson, Mark Goody, David Kilgore, Byron Bagwell. He's ineligible. John Probst, Nina Steinmeier, and Randy Brooks. How about that?
There you go.
There you go. You will have an entry for that $25 gift card there. All right, continuing on with some questions for Stacey Creighton, audience scribbling tonight. Glad to see all you guys on. We're going to ask her the questions that you present. Please keep it, without slanderous. She will answer the tough questions. We've already talked about this, and I believe the first one was pretty tough as it was, and she answered that as she thought and she seen fit. So I've got another one. You referenced the increased school grade at BHS, but SSE is a bottom 300 school. How often do you personally visit, not the admin, but the teachers and students, and ask what they need to have to be successful?
Well, I don't go from class to class and ask what they need that day, but we hold annually a roundtable every spring by grade level so that all second grade teachers can come together and share what worked, what didn't work. I also do a 4-page survey every year where I call a faculty meeting. I pass it out. It's paper. There's no way they can say that by SurveyMonkey we'll know who fills it out. It's a multiple choice, but with opportunities to give comments. What do you need? How did this work? How's the code of conduct being enforced? How's your administrator? How's the security at your school? We gather all kinds of information, and I use that to make our changes, what we need to do for the pupil progression, code of conduct, anything like that for the following school year. So do I daily go by and say, what do you need today? No, that's physically impossible to do. But we do reach out to our teachers, and I have an open door policy, and believe me, some teachers use it. They come and they share, and we try and follow up. We can't give everybody what they want all the time, but we do try and meet their needs.
All right. So here we go. Another question. I hope that answered your question. What are you going to do to keep communication open and us parents informed about what's going on in Bradford County schools?
Well, we have a new Focus app that's downloadable that we are pushing out now, but we've hired a full-time receptionist that answers the phone. Before, it was a constant complaint that all you could get was the automated system and you couldn't speak to a live person. Well, we have a live person. We've been trying to increase the robocalls. I don't know if any of y'all have a child at the high school, but every Sunday night I get a robocall from Chris Coffey
Yes,
that lays out everything that's going on for the week. We've increased our newsletters to parents. The sign on 301, we're reaching out more on Facebook than we've ever done. So we've upgraded our website. We're really making an effort to improve all modes of communication to parents. Now, some it's going to take a tap on the shoulder, to convey.
Right.
But we have tried as a school district to increase our communication, and I believe we have. When you look at our parent participation, it has gone up, and I think that's a direct result of us reaching out and making efforts to get them here and get them involved.
Right. All right. How many students have transferred to Bradford to play football? How much more revenue has been gained by installing the new turf field? And have the taxpayers received a return on investment? And if not, when will they?
I don't think that, I definitely know we have not paid for the new field with increased FTE as of yet. But you have to think, we were trying to look at ways that we could improve our facilities, attract students to our district, and keep our students in our district. We've got some great football players that have been encouraged to go out and play football elsewhere. I believe that they, with our facilities, it might give them an incentive to stay here. Just like our baseball field, we want our players to be competitive. A lot of schools are able to play year-round because they had a designated baseball field. When we were sharing a field, there was no way we could do that with our players. So it puts us at a disadvantage. But now we too can play year-round, and they have been using it. So, no, has the football field paid for itself? Absolutely not. However, this was not an expenditure out of the general fund that pays for teachers or anything like that. This was a facility fund that at the time, had we not used it, if we would have received a new school, it would have been forfeited. So we set up a committee to try and find ways to, what would be the best ways to improve our facilities and our athletic programs so that we are more attractive for students to come. And I believe it was a good idea, and I think most people will agree.
All right, we got a question up here. Hey, Smith,
Let me go
Okay.
back to it, because I'm trying to do an order, but we
Oh,
are.
yeah. I know there's a lot of questions we figured there would be. Let me let my director get caught up here a little bit.
You can start now. We're good on this.
All right. So we're good now.
We're good now. I was just trying to get
He's
the screen.
Amy
fast.
Hopkins says, or Brooke, I think you answered this one. Yeah, we answered that one. Brittany Davis said, how much did the district have to pay in fines, and did that money come out of the general fund?
Yes, it did, and let me explain on that. We had a change in personnel in the finance department in the payroll clerk position. So the payroll clerk sends in the IRS quarterly.
Okay.
So by the time we were notified that there was a problem, which had accrued a fine, 2 different quarters had already passed. She did not know what she was doing wrong, and she misdiagnosed the problem to begin with. And so it happened again, and then she and John Walensky, our finance director, contacted the IRS, found out what was wrong, and they resolved it, and we haven't gotten any more fines since. We are appealing to try and get those fines back, and we are in the appeals process. This has happened before in Bradford County under very similar circumstances when, again, there was a shift in payroll clerks and we had accrued the penalty. In the past, we got 100% of that penalty back when we did the appeal. So we're hopeful that we will get 100% back, but we haven't gotten it yet. Now, to prevent this from ever happening again, we have set up a payroll manual that stays on the desk that explicitly says when stuff is due and how to do it correctly. And then we have instituted cross-training in our payroll department. So if for some reason she was unable to run payroll, the people in the department could make sure that we're doing everything by the book. So this is not the first time Bradford County's gotten a fine. Hopefully it will be the last.
So hopefully that answered your question. Nina Steinmeier says, you emphasize the importance of the arts in the middle school and high school. Why are some of the elementary schools down to only having PE and no music or arts?
Well, we do have music. Sometimes it's being taught by a para, and sometimes it's being taught by a music teacher, Ms. Canova. I wish we had art in all the elementary schools, but we are having difficulty getting in all the academic requirements in the school day, and it's just very limited by time. So we have a wheel rotation where they do have library time, because that's very important. And then they should have music. I do believe in the arts, and I can see what a tremendous impact our arts are having in our schools, and I'm a big proponent of them, and I would love to have more time and more money to get more of it at our elementary schools.
So if you're reelected, you will work harder on trying to fund it. Is it?
Even if we found the money and the teachers,
Right.
it's the time.
Okay.
And, I met with a veteran third grade teacher, and she's looking at everything she's got to teach for ELA and for history, and where is the time? And there's just not enough minutes in the day to get it all in.
And to let people understand that doesn't come from the school board or the superintendent. That is regulated by the state Department of Education. They're the ones that say you got to have this.
Right.
The recess, the
Right.
90-minute reading walk
Right.
and stuff. We also added a writing curriculum last school year. Was it second grade to 12th? And that's also taking more time out. But I believe reading, writing, arithmetic,
Right.
we've got to work on the basics.
All right. You said at the debate that ultimately school administrators must hold teachers accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you not trust your teachers to make professional decisions regarding curriculum, grade weights, and even amount of recess minutes needed?
Okay, let's start with curriculum. Okay, we have a lot of movement within our district. When you look at Southside Elementary, we looked at the 5th grade class, I want to say, was it last year or the year before? And less than 25% of those students had been at Southside consistently from K to 5. So when they move from Southside to Lawdy, it's very important that we're following the same curriculum map so they can pick up when they arrive there, where they left off. If we've already taught this year and they haven't had it here and they move over, then there's going to be gaps. So what we're trying to do is make sure our students get what they need if they are moving around. And it helps also with us supporting teachers if we're all on the same page. Now, we don't say you have to do it this way this day, but we do have a curriculum map that lays out how we expect our school year to go, and that we administrators need to make sure that that's happening. And it is. We are working very hard, and we've got some great teachers and their team players. I do expect when you do have a 3rd grade class, when you have veteran teachers saying, I don't have enough time to get it all in, but you have a 3rd grade class over here that is in the bottom 300, and they're taking 2 recesses, and this class can't get it all in over here, and they're the top performing class in the district.
Right.
There's a problem. And so, we're just trying to make sure that our kids get what they need to be successful. And they have. When you look at our 3rd grade reading scores in 2019, we rose, 14 points? We beat the state average. That means the kids, even in our lowest 300, when you look at Bradford County, we outperformed the majority of 3rd graders in the state of Florida. That is huge.
Right.
And that's not an accident. That is through hard work. Teachers, students, staff, administrators. So I don't take the credit for that. They deserve the credit, but it's a great accomplishment.
All right. Let's see. Mr. Hartley asks, have you questioned Mr. Hartley's teaching experience because he chose to teach physical education? Have you ever attempted to teach in a classroom? And if so, what is that experience like?
I was a teaching assistant at University of Florida College of Law, so yes, I taught legal research and writing, but I have never questioned Mr. Hartley's teaching experience. I have never referred to him having a physical education degree or teaching PE. So I don't believe the question is correct.
Okay. Asking, is there any truth that the Inspector General was here last week interviewing teachers and staff about homeschooling and graduation rates?
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
In the spring of 2019, we non-renewed a teacher. After his non-renewal, he wrote to the state and made various allegations. One was that we were forcing the students into homeschool to improve our graduation rates. We responded to that allegation to the Inspector General, and we laid out the statistics across the district. When you look K-12, we started enforcing our truancy policy for the first time. Now, I've been on the school board for 10 years, and we would sit at those meetings, and we would say, should we put shall? Should we put may not? I mean, we would argue or debate for an hour trying
Just
to
on
get
the
the word
wording,
choice for our
Right.
policies. But if those policies are not being enforced, we're wasting our time. So it was a high priority to me when I came into office that we enforce our policies, and that started in August of 2017. I didn't want to start mid-year changing things and cracking down on kids when I came in November 2016. So August of 2017, we're following our attendance policy. We also put in the code of conduct, or was it the pupil progression plan, that they had to pass a mastery test if they missed so many days. So that was new, but we were trying to stay on top of it. Calls, letters, home visits, whatever we needed to do. So K-12, you saw an increase in people going to, our students moving to homeschool. Now, our highest percentage of students who moved to homeschool were kindergartners, followed by 4th grade. If people were moving to homeschool because of our graduation rates, you wouldn't see those numbers at the elementary level being higher than the secondary level. So I believe that the true explanation, that's the only one that makes sense with our data, is that due to our K-12 truancy enforcement, we saw a movement to homeschool for parents to avoid the constant calls, the constant, visits, letters, And we also started implementing our SARD process. Now, if you remember our SARD process years ago, and I believe it was Dr. Moore was in office, we actually had a parent put in jail because of not sending her kids to school. So when we started our SARD process, as part of our truancy provisions, they get truancy is 15 out of 90 days, unexcused absences. So then they're put on an attendance contract. So that was happening at the end of 2017 or 2018, depending on when their absences accrued. Then you had to give them an opportunity to live up to the contract or not.
Right.
So then, starting in December of 2018, we started going monthly before a judge. And I went to Melissa Blankenship, who is the coordinator for the SARD. Cindy Blankenship, I'm sorry, I keep calling her. But I said, we are having kids withdraw to homeschool to avoid our truancy provisions. And she said, that's okay. The judge can make them come, even though they're homeschool students, and show that homeschool is actually taking place.
Right.
So they're not dismissed from the process just because they go to homeschool. But they still will be there. They're out of the school's jurisdiction,
Right.
but they remain under the jurisdiction of the judge. So that's part of the processes we're putting in place. So after we explained that in rebuttal to Mark Scott's allegations, we got a letter from the Inspector General that the case was closed. They accepted our response. Then last December, we got that one letter. We don't know what it was based on. We don't know who called them. We don't know what was said. All I know is something triggered them to come and make copies of our files and interview people. I've asked them, please release your findings before the election. It doesn't appear that that's going to happen, but we are consistent believing that when you look at the data, K-12, this is a truancy enforcement issue.
I also want to state right here, and I'll have my constituents here back me up on this. Please, no slanderous comments. I'm not going to read them. I'm going to bypass them. Please, legitimate questions. I respect your opinions and how you feel about things, but I'm not going to address it on this show. So I'm going to skip over those. If you've got a legitimate question and tough questions, I believe that she's answering those as best as she can. So please keep the slanderous remarks off. We try to run a good show here. We do each and every week. And like I said, I value your opinion and I value what you say, but there's a right time and a right place for that. Heather Gibson saying, asking where does the 94% teacher retention rate figure come from?
Well, we looked at the teachers that were here this year and the teachers that were here last year, and that's how many that had returned. So that's where our 94% comes from. Of the 6% that are not here, we had some retirements, we had some non-renewals, and then we had some that we lost to other counties. We also gained some from other counties. So, Florida's in a tough spot with a teacher shortage. But some of our schools had 100% teacher retention. So it's improving, and I'm thankful for that.
All right, we'll go right to the next one. Kevin Cook asks, can you explain the band budget again that was touched on in the debate?
Okay, that was brought up by my opponent. He attended a band awards function where the middle school band director said that they had a $60,000 band budget, and he assumed that that was from the district. That is not true. Our bands raised their money. That was all private money. They do a pumpkin patch. They've done a mattress sale. They've sold clothes. They've sold cookie dough. They are car washes. They are a hard-working group. He also referenced that we should redistribute the money to a lot of other groups, but every group has the opportunity to raise money, and I'm not going to take from one group what they raised and redistribute it. Now, the school district, we do support all of our groups in terms of the buses to competitions, and we try and do uniforms and help. We have not done uniforms for the band. I did buy from the district a drum set at each of the schools, and that to me was a classroom supply. You can't have a steel drum class unless you have steel drums. So we did that as an investment, and it's been well received. Now, I do want to talk, my husband and I have invested in the band. My husband more so than I have. He will fly with people at United Airlines, and he will tell them about our band. And we have had a steady stream of used instruments donated from the people of United Airlines. They don't know they're a business partner, but they've been very generous with our band program. He's also, he will look online and find where they're selling them. Like, we needed marching French horns. He found 5 of them in Utah. He flew out to Utah, rented a car, got them from a government warehouse, and he came back via FedEx. They will let other pilots on there, and they said if you can get it on there, you won't have to pay the additional. So my husband got 5 marching French horns up that hallway into the plane and brought them back to Bradford. And we as a family, it's I don't want to see any kid not participate because they don't have an instrument. So we have really tried to help with that. Now, we don't have a kid at the middle school anymore, but that's where our biggest growth is right now. I hope that growth will continue to the high school as it filters up.
Right.
But our middle school pre-COVID had over 200 students in a band class, at least one. Now, some of them were taking multiple band classes. I think that's huge, and I think that's something I want to see continue. When you talk about kids moving here for the football field, I'd love to see them move here for the band program.
Right.
We ran ads at the movie theater to encourage homeschoolers. You don't have to enroll in Bradford schools to be a part of our band program. You can come for that 1 class or 2 classes at the middle school, the beginning bands.
Right.
And we've had several take advantage of that, and then they end up coming. So it's been a really good program for Bradford.
We'll give you just a second to take a breath real quick. People are just... That answer was 1972.
Yes.
That answer was not... I promise you, we've got your name down here. Michael did a great job writing everybody's name, so everybody will have a fair shot to win that $25 because everybody's wanting to go to Downtown Grill. That's what the heck's going on there. So
They want a lunch.
yeah, that's exactly
I
right.
can't blame them.
I can't either. So again, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. To my right, our producer, Dave Holland. Our director, doing multiple jobs, Michael the Dragon Slayer Heater. Coming in late, but had to work.
Right here.
Mitchell Gunner, Mr. Byron Bagwell's on special assignment tonight. And we've got a great show. A lot of people on Stacy want to hear your answers and to the tough questions. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if I could answer one of those questions, but you're answering them, so I hope people are appreciative of that. Let's go on. Virginia Autry says...
Let's go to this one first.
Okay. Karen Jackson asked, kids in other counties actually do go to school for academics. You stated during the debate that our kids do not. How do you plan to fix this?
I was drawing a line in terms of recruiting for our band programs, which I just explained that we ran the ads to try and get kids to come in for band. Now, I could run an ad saying, we have a great algebra teacher, and we do. Ms. Bowen is phenomenal. I don't think we're going to have people come in just for our algebra class like they will for a beginning band class, or maybe it's art, whatever their interest is. But we do have phenomenal opportunities here in Bradford County. We have expanded our AP classes. We have expanded the success rate of our AP classes. That has increased. We've expanded our dual enrollment. Pre-COVID, while there were classes at the Stump Center, we started running a bus during the school day, 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours at the very end of the day, so that our athletes and those that do not have transportation could take advantage of our dual enrollment. That's why Dr. Sasser said that our dual enrollment opportunities have never been greater, because we are taking out the transportation dilemma. Because before, if you didn't have a car, you couldn't get there. So now that COVID has happened, their classes are mostly online, so that's no longer needed to run the buses. But hopefully we can get everyone back and back in. We've also expanded our industry certifications. When you go into school in Bradford County, you have over 20 industry certification opportunities. That's more than any one school in Clay County. Now, if you take Clay County as a whole, yes, they probably have as much or more. But it's separated up and divvied up between their high schools. Our kids have it all right here. We've also expanded our industry certifications for the middle school. We're sending our middle school over to our North Florida Technical College during the day so that they can have some more opportunities. So
Right.
we're really focused on the industry certifications too.
All right. Carissa, I hope I pronounced that right, Frederickson says, what is your plan to help our students graduate and plan do you have in place to help the students that are not on track?
Okay, our guidance department has been expanded, and Renee Castles is our graduation coach. She is phenomenal. When we came in, Bright Futures didn't even recognize that Bradford County had a high school, so it had been allowed to lapse. So we put some processes in place to make sure that we're sending all our stuff to Bright Futures. We meet with our students at least once a year as an undergrad, twice a year as a senior, and they meet with their specific guidance counselor, and they do a graduation check. This is what you have, this is what you need, and they sign off on it. And I'll have parents say, oh no, they didn't meet with mine, and we can produce the form and say, yes they did, on this, here's your child's signature. We're taking it very seriously so that even as a 9th grader and as a 10th grader, you know what you need to graduate. And remember, graduation requirements can change from one cohort to the next. So what is required for the 10th grade may be different than the 9th grade. So when you enter 9th grade, that's when you set your graduation requirements. So it's really important to stay on top of them. And that's what we're trying to do. Now, we are also, if I am a child of a senior parent, I get constant emails from Renee letting us know about ACT testing, SAT testing, scholarship opportunities. She keeps us very well informed.
All right. The questions are coming so fast. I know I didn't keep up.
I'm trying to keep up.
There was one that Vera Barnes asked. Can you get back to it? Can you see if you can? It was about the call that you said Mr. Coffee sends out on Sundays. By the way, a lot of people said he does a great job up there. I can fully attest that he does do a good job. Chris Coffee, his door is open to you. If you need to talk to him about anything, he's definitely welcoming you in. But I believe the question went, if I can remember it right, she sees all the information you're talking about, but it doesn't state anything about like attendance for, like, if a student missed. Or
Okay.
you probably had this question addressed.
Yeah. Let's talk about the attendance. Typically, we do the robocalls. However, due to COVID, when you're sending students home for 14 days, when they're perfectly feeling well and you're making them self-isolate, it's hard to do an attendance call on top of that. We do not get the student notes from the health department until after the student comes back. And so we did not want homes inundated with the calls from the robocalls when we sent them home. So we pulled the robocalls, but we still have in place our SART process and our tracking at the different schools. We're just trying not to aggravate people unnecessarily with the robocalls.
I gotcha. Hey, we're trying to get all to your questions, guys. I know there's a lot of people on here. We've got limited time to do this in, and we're going to try to answer each and every one of them that we can. If not, we'll figure out a way where you can get your answer. That's for sure. Boy, they just keep streaming, and I'm proud. I know I missed a couple, but
This might be a
anyway,
4-hour show.
it may be. And my goodness, you just got through working. Karen Jackson said, what about the library at Brokenhampton? I hear they only have donated books in their libraries.
I can't say if the books were donated or if they were purchased with the funds, but in the past, we had computer labs in those areas that were once the libraries. Brooker first went to Hampton's always maintained a small library in the same area as the computers. Brooker, because they went to a 1-to-1 ratio, and they raised the money to go to a 1-to-1 ratio. I want to give Principal Cassie Melvin a lot of credit here. They did cookies for Chromebooks, coolers for Chromebooks. They they made it a goal, and they achieved that goal to go to a 1-to-1 ratio before anybody else did with COVID or anything. Once they had the 1-to-1 ratio, they didn't need that computer lab anymore because the Chromebooks were in the classroom. So they converted it back to a library, and it's gorgeous. They did a lot of work, and they deserve all the credit. Brooker is it's special, and they just got a lot of community support.
All right. All right, here we go. Address the charges filed today against a current school employee. Confirmed that the charges were from 2019 and not related to current students. What is the result and what plan or protocol is in place for students reporting sexual misconduct? Would that the accused be kept on staff?
Okay, anytime there's an allegation of abuse at the school, we contact law enforcement and DCF. This allegation, he was not arrested until this morning. Prior to that, he had no criminal history. He's been on staff since, I believe, 2000 or 2001. I have been working with the sheriff's office and the state attorney's office. The allegations were raised, however, no charges were ever filed until today. So,
Okay.
Or he wasn't arrested.
Right.
So you can't just punish someone and fire someone because of an allegation. And we are working closely with the sheriff and the state attorney.
And the second part of that, somebody wanted to know when you heard about the allegations, was there a current investigation going on when you heard about the allegations?
There was an investigation in the fall of last year, and we moved him from Southside to the district office. However, no arrest was made or charges, so it we didn't hear anything until today.
Okay. All right.
And that's with the arrest.
Okay. Virginia Hartley asks, why did you say at the BHS forum that your opponent's children are homeschooled when Hartley has 2 children at BMS?
I believe my exact quote was he and his wife. So he does have children from a previous marriage. However, he and his wife have 2, and I believe he admitted it while he was on the show that his wife teaches them at home. That would make them homeschooled.
Maggie Wiggs asks, are students picked up on an early bus due to needing a ride to ESC? This, in return, caused my son not to receive the same free appropriate public education under IDEA.
I have not heard about an early bus. If she will reach out to us, we will get with our ESC director, Barbara Johns, and find out what is going on. But I'm not aware of anything about bus pickup times.
Okay. Paige Smith Anderson asks, how many certified guidance counselors do you have in the district, specifically the guidance counselor at BMS, which is a crucial age to have proper guidance for the student?
We have some certified guidance counselors, and we have career specialists. The state does have a teacher shortage, and so we have a certified guidance counselor at the high school, and then 2 career specialists, and then at the middle school we have 1.5 now. I believe they're both career specialists. We did increase our guidance from 1 to 1.5. Pre-COVID, our middle school was over 700 students, so we were trying to get some extra support there.
Okay. Let's see here. Is the district, and I think you sort of answered this, but you can elaborate real quick, because like I said, they're just flowing so quickly. Is the district still under investigation for these homeschool allegations? Has it yet to be resolved?
Look, anybody can make an allegation, and it's going to be investigated. We have not received any word that we have done anything wrong. The case is not closed. The allegations that were made in the spring have been closed, and we do have a letter from the Office of Inspector General closing those allegations, which included the allegation about the homeschool. So it has been addressed once by the Inspector General's office. I don't know what the current allegation, I don't know who made it, I don't know what they said. So we're eagerly awaiting the conclusion of this, and we believe we're doing what's right.
All right. Cecil Litton asks, while you were a school board member, did you support the proposed plan for the new school, which included the closure of Hampton and Brooker?
When I was a school board member, we were given an up or down vote about the new school, and we were deeply concerned. We didn't do a lot of background information, economic impact. We didn't have, we were asking questions about what this would do to our programs, our FFA, our music, our athletics at the middle school when we were going to send 6th and 7th graders to be split up between Lottie Elementary, Stark Elementary, and the new school. The new school will have wonderful facilities for all of the programs. It will have a state-of-the-art music room with a recording studio. It will have an FFA facility with a nice greenhouse. It will have labs for computer technology and a gym with a lot of incredible resources there. Stark Elementary in Lottie will not have any of those resources, which would create an inequitable learning environments for the different 6th and 7th graders. As a school board, I was not happy with those choices. When we were bringing it up, all they kept saying was, it doesn't matter. The school board will vote who goes in the new school. It could be a new high school, it could be a new middle school, it could be a new elementary school. What you're voting for is a new school. That's how it was presented, and every research that I've had has said that is exactly right. If you look at the statute, the school board will decide who will go in the new school. They are tasked with setting the boundaries of school, determining consolidations and closures. So it will be up to the school board. Now, the superintendent can make a recommendation, and I've already said what my recommendation would be, which would be an entire middle school. So 6th, 7th, and 8th for the district would go in there, and then start Southside Elementary. Now, that would allow us to continue with all of our programs being available to all of our students. Otherwise, it wouldn't be equitable.
And let me stop right here, let you catch a breath right here real quick. I want to clear up when I mean slanderous or derogatory remarks. I guess I'm going to have to clear myself up on that. I'm not saying that any was made here right now. I'm just saying that I'm not going to read about how you feel about a person or another, whether it's Miss Stacy Creighton or whether it's Mr. Will Hartley, which I respect both. I'm just not going to read anything. This is a question and answer period. I will read the questions like I have been. A lot of people said that I'm doing. So I'm just saying that I will entertain that. So not saying that there has been any. I'm just saying I'm not going to entertain if you're wanting to say this about that person or that person. Just not going to do it. We're going to the questions. So I hope I cleared that up for everybody. I'm glad that everybody's on, trying to get to every question that I can. It's just coming so fast. My guys are trying to keep up as best as we can, and she's trying to answer as best as she can within the time that we're giving her to answer as well. So a lot of people watching, as we're saying. Let's see here. Are students still picked up? Okay, I think we answered that one. Upon self-reflection, what is one thing you aim to improve if you are reelected?
Well, we're going to be in the new school building phase. We also still need to do some work on our current facilities. We have a 1-to-1 ratio. We're good with our Chromebooks. Want to work on getting touchscreens in all the classrooms. I do think every classroom in the new school will have that. I want every classroom to have it in the district. So on self-reflection, we're always seeking to improve in every area. I think we've done a great job. I have a great team of people, and they've worked very hard. And I look forward to working with them for 4 more years.
Before this one goes away, this is a great question. I've even had this question myself. We love the firefighter course at the VOTEC. Are there any additional classes or courses being offered in the near future at the VOTEC?
Well, that's one of the things. If we do get our new school and we move the entire middle school out, that will free up the old middle school buildings to allow our North Florida Technical College to expand. Right now, if I want to put a new program in, I have to get rid of one because I'm out of space. We have brought in culinary, we've brought in logistics, we've expanded on-the-job training, got a 911 certification that's new.
Yes.
Which was needed,
Yes.
and that's for jobs right here in Bradford County. And that's really what I want to focus on. If the mining does happen, I would like to be able to offer heavy equipment operation, things that can help them get jobs right here in Bradford County, because the goal is I want everybody to stay here, build a home, have a family, and send them to Bradford School. So that's long term.
And if I can interject
Sure.
here, I spoke with Captain Cooksey, who is the lead instructor, and I was amazed. He's invited me to come out there and look at it. Of course, everyone knows my past life, but I was amazed at the progress that they're making. And I have talked to a number of students from the high school and those that, and they are so excited about the program, the firefighting program, and those folks like that one. So from a purely personal perspective, I'm excited about where we're going with the VOTEC programs, simply because it is, like you said, it is keeping people at home. And I personally am excited about what they're doing at the technical center.
Cooksey is doing a phenomenal job. I can't speak highly enough about him. But I would also like to see us bring back some community ed classes. You know, the cake decorating or the flower arranging and stuff like that, that make it a hub and for our community right here at the North Florida Technical College. I know I took a painting class there many, many years ago. That, you know, I love that, and I would like to see that come back too. Right now, we do not have room for it.
Yes, ma'am. That is my real hair. I promise. Somebody asked me. It is. I promise it is my real hair. Somebody says, "Is that your real hair?"
Don't you?
Yeah, was that you that did that punchy?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see you say that. Yes, it is my real hair.
Let it ride.
Yeah, it is my real hair. And shut up, Mitchell. All right. Mitchell Anderson says, "Do you believe that you spent enough time this summer preparing for the reopening of the schools?"
Let's talk about that. I believe my opponent mentioned about hiring doctors to give their opinion. We work closely with the health department, which is what we were instructed to do from the Department of Education. We rely on the health department. If I get two conflicting opinions on what to do, I go with the health department. Not to say that we don't welcome more opinions, but theirs is the one that's going to drive how we handle the epidemic. Now, when you look over the summer, I think Duval County was one of the first counties to put out a plan, a 2-day-a-week plan. We were also thinking along those lines and how that would look like and stuff, if that was the direction we needed to go. When the state came in and said, you will be open 5 days a week, all those plans might as well just gone in the shredder. We're going to be open 5 days a week. So we were addressing constantly changing information. So to say, were we planning? Absolutely. Did those plans change? Absolutely. We have phenomenal support. I want to say Amy Johns and Tricia Clark have been rock solid and amazing to work with. And I'm very grateful for the guidance that they've given us. And once school got underway, I do think it is the best option for children. I put my own kids back in. I do believe that it's important for them to be back in school.
I am sorry, Mitchell Anderson. The comments are coming so fast I didn't even get the second half of that question. We're trying as best as we can. Repost it if you would, please. I am sorry. Paige had a question. It's just they're just coming so fast. My guy is trying as best as he can. And, you know, Facebook, if you know anything about it, and it just keeps going. You get so many, just flipped again. And there was a question there that I wanted to ask. So we're trying to get to them as best as we can, as fast as we can. We want you to get your answers before this election, and you determine what you need to do and how you need to vote on November the 3rd. Let's see. You have another one, Michael, right here? The district only gave $300 raise last year to teachers and support staff. $1.50 a day. Does that contribute to teacher retention?
Well, given the fact that there were some years in previous administrations where they got nothing, I believe something is always better than nothing. And obviously, it did help with teacher retention when we had a 94% teacher retention rate. I would love to pay them what they're worth. However, we are constrained by how much money we have, and we're trying to get it to our teachers.
Can I speak on that? For people that's watching, if you want our schools to be more successful and have the tax base that they need to be able to pay the teachers more money and have more programs in our school, you need to start getting a hold of your city commissioners, your county commissioners, and the chamber about bringing jobs here that will actually employ people right here in Bradford County so they don't have to travel outside and spend their tax dollars when they get off and work in other counties. That's where we get hurt badly.
Also, bring your kids here.
Right.
I mean, that's how we get the majority of our funding is through the number of students we have, and it's from the state. So when people make other choices, which I defend as their right, when I laid out the 6 choices for every parent, that involved taking them elsewhere. We need our students back so that we do have the funds to pay our teachers more.
Just real quick before I lose it, and I will ask it, teacher shortage. Is there a teacher shortage?
Absolutely. It's across the state of Florida.
Okay.
We just had, was it University of South Florida just shut down their education college. So they're not even producing education majors anymore. But a lot of our teachers come with a bachelor's degree. It may not be in education, but there is a pathway in Florida where you can take that bachelor's degree and become a certified teacher. We're increasing our numbers of teachers who are getting their teacher certification. With a bachelor's degree, you may get a temporary that is good for 3 years, and you have to, it's called a PDCP. You have 3 years to get your professional teaching certificate.
Right.
We've increased 333% in the last 4 years over the previous 5 years in the number of teachers who have completed that and gotten their professional teaching certificate. And I believe that's due to the extra support from the Teacher Academy. We're helping them become the professional teachers and keeping them here.
Yeah, like Autumn is going to school right now at St. Leo, which is, I guess, once she gets through with that, the way she was explaining it to me was that once she gets through and does her internship, I guess she will be fully licensed and fully certified because I guess the program at St. Leo has that particular.
She's going for education. Yes.
Right, she's going for education. So once she gets done with that, which will be, I think, next December, I think when it's all done, then she should be able to go straight into without getting. She'd have her certification. I guess she doesn't have to retake any tests or anything. It's all inclusive in that particular deal. And I think that's why she went that way. She could have easily went to Florida or whatever. But I think even with that, don't you have to get, it's not a full certification, right, on some of their programs?
If she's going to St. Leo, she's going to get her 4-year Bachelor of Science degree in education.
Right.
So there are people who go to college to get a 4-year degree in something else. Those are the ones that come in on alternative certification.
Okay.
And do the PDCP.
Okay.
This
That's okay. All right. So got that. All right. Gotcha. Why did you move Mrs. Farnsworth to the warehouse, and would you make the same choice today?
When I took over in November of 2016, I was trying to evaluate the current administration and where we were. It had been widely believed in our district that Ms. Farnsworth was running the high school. So I was trying to give Mr. Boyer a chance to see how he would do being in charge. That was the only position open. She did not lose her pay, but I wanted to see Mr. Boyer leading that school and be able to evaluate him.
Gotcha. All right. You got another one, Michael?
No. Keep going with yours. And I'm typing.
So, all right. So, Michael, Mitchell, do you have anything right there?
Michael's pretty much staying.
Yeah, he's staying pretty good. It's just,
He's going to have to soak his fingers in ice water.
I'm going to have to buy him some dinner tonight, I think. We're getting to the Taco Tuesday. You got that right. Now I know where we're going. As we're getting close to wrapping up the show here, I know there was a lot of great questions. I promise you we'll go back and watch the show. We'll try to gather up all those questions, and we will send them to you. and then you can answer them, and we'll put them out there on our page for people to be able to see. Again, also, I want to extend the invite to Mr. Will Hartley as well again. He can come on the show. I know November 3rd is the election. Don't have a lot of days. We do have a show coming up Saturday. I know right now he's busy. Maybe those plans will change. But I'll entertain another day if you'd like. If you want to come onto the show again, be more than glad to have you. Want to be fair across the board. I believe that's what this show is all about. And we tried to bring you the news and the information on whatever's going on in our community first. So, again, I want to thank everybody that's come on tonight. I thought it's been great. I think there was a lot of great questions there for sure. And appreciate you sitting here with us and answering them. So I'm going to go on here.
Got one here for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. What incentive do you have in place for holding the teacher retention rate?
Well, we are in a position this year, thanks to Governor DeSantis, to try and get our beginning teacher salary up even higher. There's two pots of money. There's a 80% pot for the new teachers, but there's also a 20% pot for current teachers, so that everyone should be getting another raise this year. And so that money is set aside, and our teachers will get another pay raise this year. Now we have to negotiate that with the union. I believe our last negotiation was scheduled in it was either the end of August or September, but they canceled on us. So there's one scheduled, I believe, for the end of this month. So hopefully we can get that settled and get that money in our teachers' hands.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We're doing the best that we can. I love each and every one of you out there. Hey, I'm glad that y'all are staying on. Like I said, we're trying to get to the questions.
Hey,
You see?
actually, Paige had a question.
I know I missed it. Did you get it?
This one right here,
Okay.
I was wondering maybe we could do it other than Saturday night because of his kids.
And that's already been addressed. I just posted online that if Will wants to pick another night, we will certainly oblige.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
already been addressed. I addressed
Yeah.
that just a moment ago.
Absolutely. We will, except Friday night, because I will be calling the football game.
Yeah.
Tornado World.
And the Tornado World is Thursday, and I'm a skip to it, so yeah. But hey, we'll find a day, I promise you.
My wife, she had a question when the races went out to the teachers. Can you explain about what happened with the races to the bus drivers and mechanics and all that stuff? Because they also got a raise.
Yeah,
We try to give them one every year. You know, it's not what they're worth. Obviously, you know,
Right.
It's we wish we could do more, but they also got, I believe, it was 15 cents an hour
Right,
across the board.
right.
All right.
I'd love to get 50 something.
Yeah, well, me and you both. Yeah, so if we get the new school, I thought that grant money was already awarded. Did I miss something? There was a groundbreaking ceremony and not well advertised, but it did happen.
The question was that you had when you said if we get it.
If we, yes.
I think that was a
That's the big yeah.
So just want to clarify
Right, the big yeah.
position on the funding.
Yeah, and she did start that.
And we did not advertise the groundbreaking because we were very limited with the parking situation. I don't know if y'all were aware. It was all just side of the road
Yes.
there. We didn't have any land cleared off for parking, and we were trying to cover the people that were invited.
Stephen Yeager, I appreciate it, man. This is about my team, man. I tell you what, they do a great job. I would never, these guys are just wonderful. I can tell you that. They make the whole show look good. So, hey, I'm just sitting here using my voice is all I'm doing here. This show's about you guys and about our kids. And this particular show, I know we talk about a lot of different subjects. We diversify our subjects. But this is all about you guys. Just trying to bring the information to you guys. But I really appreciate the kind words. You don't know how much that means to me. As long as the district follows the plan, it gets funded. Otherwise, buddy goes poof, right?
No, my understanding.
No? Okay.
We're in the phase
Six
now
hours.
where they're finalizing the final plans, and then the next step is for to meet with the builders and then start getting quotes on on what's in the plans, and then we have to see if that's going to come in under budget, or if we have to start making changes to those plans to bring it in under budget, because it's not an option to go over budget. I'm firm on that. We have made changes from the original plan to a 2-story. So those will be a little bit different than how it was originally presented.
Well, I tell you what, y'all picked a great architect. Paul Stressing is a super nice guy, very smart, and we use him a lot for over in Alachua County. And y'all got a great man to do
And
that.
I want to say Osley Construction, our builder, built the Levy County School, and the superintendent there had nothing but great things to say. They were not the original builders. They came in when the other ones had gone over budget, and then managed to bring it in under budget. So they have a great track record. So I'm looking forward to working with both of them.
2 parts to this question. Charles Anderson asked, are there any other employees under investigation for any sexual misconduct or any criminal charges?
Not to my knowledge. We don't know of the investigations until usually there's an arrest, unless it involves something that's happening at school, and we don't have anything happening at school. I asked that of the state's attorney. I'm like, we need to be aware.
And if I can address that,
Sure.
the Criminal Investigations Division of the Bradford County Sheriff's Office is very tight-lipped on all investigations. Again, remembering that all citizens in the United States are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And so, as a result, any investigations that are ongoing would not be made privy to the school simply because of the you don't want to impede on the civil liberties of anyone who's suspected until evidence is produced at that point. Hence the reason why the investigation led to the arrest today that no one really knew anything about, because we still have to protect the civil rights of anyone in the United States.
So what you're saying is today they had enough information and they had enough to make an arrest.
There was enough probable cause and information and evidence to allow the state attorney's office to get an arrest warrant signed by a judge to make the arrest. That is a long process that goes through. The sheriff's office receives warrants from the courthouse every day that are entered into the system, and some of the charges that are filed are for cases that go back 4 or 5 years based on the case numbers and the warrant number that's issued at the time that the dispatchers enter that warrant, enter the warrants into the system. So it is, but again, just as for edification, any active investigation being handled by our CID division, criminal investigations, and our detectives that information would not be privy to the general public, and that would include the schools, because we still have to protect the civil rights of everyone until they are actually taken into custody.
And I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking to Mr. Simone today about this, and he said that none of this happened at the school. It didn't involve school children.
Correct.
He didn't even know he worked at the school. So we didn't know where they were with the investigation until the arrest was made.
Okay. Did you have something, Mitchell?
Yes, I see that.
Go ahead.
Mitchell Anderson was wanting to know, do we have like a full-time grant underwriter?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Is that something that y'all are working on?
With our budget, we're trying to get the resources to the classrooms. I will say that the Education Foundation does a wonderful job of writing grants, and a lot of Sherry, I believe, writes some grants, and they just do it as part of their other jobs. And we've had grants in food service and written by the food service director in the past. So it's basically principals and directors
And that's why it was so important for parents to still go by and get those lunches and those breakfasts at those drop-off places, so we can continue getting that funding for lunches.
And Bradford is so blessed to have free breakfast and free lunch to all of our students.
Yes.
That's really good.
Paige Anderson asked, if found out administrators change grades to allow students to graduate, would they be allowed to keep their jobs?
I have not heard of any administrators changing grades.
Yes.
So that
I think
students
she's
don't
asking,
graduate.
is if you found out.
No, we would do an investigation and see. have never heard that allegation before.
Okay, but the question
It
is,
is.
if it were to
Yeah.
happen, would they be
Would
allowed
they
to keep
be
their
allowed
job?
to keep their jobs?
Okay.
That's the
That
answer
has
to the
happened
question.
in previous administrations, and those administrators were fired.
Please address the ratio of ESE students, not to mention 504 or lower quartile students, and the lack of experienced staff to work with these students.
Well, there is a teacher shortage. We do have some great ESE teachers, but we also have some new ESE teachers, and we're doing the best we can. I don't specifically know ratios at every school, but it is my understanding that our 504s and our IEPs are being met.
Okay. Here we go. Will Hartley was questioned about procuring funding for a new track. What is your plan to improve the track?
Well, there's several different options. You can do, I want to say it was $80,000 to recover it, but it would be good for 3 to 5 years.
Right.
You could do more expensive, but it would be good for longer. My concern right now is really the track shack more so than the track because of the roof issues, and I am looking into that. We have, I told y'all before, we tried to get quotes about re-roofing it, but they were concerned about the structure of the walls. So we're looking at converting the old baseball concession stand into a track facility. We're just trying to see what works and, how best to go about it. But yes, the track is definitely on all of our list. The track shack is an eyesore, but we're making our way around, and we're trying to improve all of it.
Right. And like we have talked, to actually redo that surface for the last 8 or 10 years, talking over University of Florida. We're looking at $250,000.
It goes up significantly.
It does.
You have X amount of money, and you're trying to make it go as far as it can.
Right.
So
are you okay with businesses doing pretty much like we done with the football field to help the track?
Like
So I want to put that out there. So
all right. Well, the businesses didn't help with the field itself.
I just
Right.
going to
But
say.
they did help with the.
Scoreboard.
Right.
I would definitely be interested in that. Once that scoreboard is paid for, that will be a revenue producer of over $30,000 a year just by the signs that we currently have on it,
Right.
not counting any of the advertisements that we have during the game. That $30,000, now we can put it all in the general athletics and divvy it up that way, or you can divvy it up by sport where they each have one sign to sell. But I believe we're selling the signs for $3,750. So it's going to be a great revenue producer for our school
Gotta
once
get your
we get it
PJ
paid
business
off.
on there.
Of course, I'm going to put all my businesses on there for sure.
And I do want to see us use the field. It was almost going to be the site of a Halloween dance. They were going to do it outside due to COVID so people could spread out. But once we went to phase 3, we allowed them to have the dance back in the gym, which I think we had a group that was very happy for that.
Oh, I'm sure.
We do want to see the football field used more, and we did hold our FSA night out there last November. It was a great crowd and a great night. It was last November. I can't remember. Was it right before the Thanksgiving holiday, I believe?
Okay, let me see here. Clarification. Did Stacy or her staff pull the 94% based on close of one school year, 6/30/20, to the start of New Year 7/1/20? Like they only lost 6% in that one day. I'm trying to figure out where they got this number from. However, my question was answered if I don't know how to calculate the base percentage, is what she's saying.
It was from the Skyward reports.
Skyward reports?
Skyward reports.
Skyward reports, okay.
And we did the 1920 and the 2021.
Uh-huh.
And it was the reports as of the survey 3 dates.
Okay, gotcha. How many current lawsuits are pending against the district?
Well, if you're talking about the slander suit, we just filed a motion to dismiss today on that one. That is the only one that I know about in terms of that's new. We have had some employees that have filed that they were wrongfully terminated, but I don't know if they're in the lawsuit phase or still in the grievance phase. But I guess I couldn't answer.
Yes, I will identify. Yes, Sherry Alvarez is here and also present. So she is here, as well as the rest of us are here as well. So, Mark Goody asks, what grant opportunities are you seeking?
Drones. I would, when you talk about expansion at the North Florida Technical College, I would like to see a drone program. I think that would have a lot of interest in it. Also, we're always interested in the robotics and drones, robotics. We're really, I'm trying to think what other expansions. I would like to see more coding.
Elementary.
Yes, elementary coding all the way up. Jeff Ledger does a really good job. He's more on the hardware side of the house versus the software side of the house. So I would like to see us focus a little bit more on coding.
Can you clarify, or Michael, I'll ask you, I guess, can you clarify what position this particular person was in that was arrested? Was he a teacher? Was he a para? Can you say that at this time? Are y'all allowed to say?
I don't have that information. I just know
Stacey,
that there
do
was
you know, or are you allowed to say?
I don't think.
The person that was arrested this morning.
I don't have that information. We can try to find out, and I don't. The arrest itself may be public record. But
What they're saying, what they're asking, was it a teacher? Was it a para? Was it a janitor?
That I don't know. If somebody out there has that information or anything like that one.
Here.
It was, okay, so it was a parent. So, yes, it was a parent.
I know one of the comments said that it was somebody from Southside Elementary. That was mentioned in one of the comments. I have no information to confirm or deny anything.
All right, and
about
I don't want to get in it. All I know is it is a parent. So that's as far as we can get into it there. Let's see. As the leaders of the district, do you feel you take ownership of mistakes that happen within the school district?
Absolutely. We're constantly striving to be better. We're not perfect. We're not there yet, but we're always seeking to improve. And I do think we've come a long way. Still have a ways to go.
Okay. I'll tell you what, it's right at 9 o'clock right now, and I tell you, I want to start wrapping it up because there's a lot of people on here. I know we can keep going like the Energizer Bunny, but I do want to close it off. I know there's a lot of questions that are still coming. Let's take one more final question maybe from each of us. David, do you have anything for Stacy that you'd like to ask? I know you've been sitting back listening.
Yeah, I think I got one.
Okay.
If you're reelected, how do you see the programs that you've applied to your first term turning out in your second term?
Well, I'm really looking forward to see the impact of the writing curriculum. I do think that that's going to be a game changer in a lot of ways. We've gotten great teacher feedback about how much that they've enjoyed it and they think that it will contribute. We also had LSI come in and work with our middle school and our Southside Elementary, but we weren't able to test to see the impact of that, the professional development that went on there. So I'd like to see that it helped. So we're constantly looking at new things. We're going to be doing the ELA adoption that's coming up, and we're going to try and keep us moving forward.
R.L. Clemens, I'll read it. I don't know how much I can answer it. I'm glad I got Michael Heater here, but I will get to that. He says, can we please get some clarification? The employee with the sexual allegations was moved to the district. Our students at the district office, Rainbow Pre-K middle, high school students. I want to know why someone with sexual allegations was allowed to be around these students. as Bradford County taxpayers, we should know why. That
Well,
is a tough, yeah, okay.
When there was an allegation, we moved them to a non-contact area with students, which was working out of the print shop. So they were not around students. When it was presented that there would not be an arrest, we returned them to their previous location.
Mr. Clemens, I do know, as Michael said, there is an ongoing investigation right now. There has been arrest made. That's all we can elaborate on it at this time. As we get more information and as much as we can let you know, we will definitely let you know, because that's what we're definitely all about for sure. Michael Heater, you have a question. I know you're typing a mile away. Do you have a question for Stacy as we're closing out?
I think you answered the question I had. My pressing question dealt with the reassignment of Ms. Farnsworth. I know that's already been addressed. We're not going to rehash that. I do know that there's been a couple of other questions that had popped up. One question that was asked was, were you surprised by the reaction of the social media back and forth between yourself and Nikki Cooper regarding the posting that was made and the subsequent feedback that came from that?
When that happened, first of all, let's just say it is the district policy. If a parent uses profanity or vulgar with our staff, they are no trespass. When that happened at a school board meeting, we took the same approach. The next morning I came into work and I had several calls about the Special Olympics being no trespass. That did not happen. So the post was to clarify that we are still willing and looking forward to working with the Special Olympics, that it was to clarify what had actually happened versus whatever rumor had been circulated.
I've got one. This is a good one. I really like this. I think you'll like it as well. Do you feel seeking another 4 years as superintendent is worth being constantly scrutinized and the hours that you have put in to get the job done? That's a great question. Sherry, that's a great question.
This has been the ugliest election of the 5 that I've been in, but I do think it is worthwhile. I believe that Bradford County is moving forward, and I look forward to doing that. I do not get on word of mouth. I know one of my daughters did to correct. I had homeschooled my children until I was elected. I told her, please get off of it. That's not what we're going to argue over. I use Facebook very limitedly, and I encourage others to do so in the sense, don't engage in the rumors. Much better than this, and much better than people would get by looking at Bradford County word of mouth. That's not who we are.
Cassidy asks, do you think there should be a more intensive process for parents pulling their kids out to homeschool them?
And let me clarify that, because I was trying to type.
I know
in this situation, there was. I think the gist of the question was, do you believe there should be a better vetting process? In other words, a parent comes
right
and help them and support them.
All right. What? It's been a great show. Thank you, Ms. Stacey Creighton, for joining us. Mitchell Gunner, a little bit late, but I'm glad to always have you.
As long as this phone doesn't ring, I will be happy all
I hear you. Thank you guys again. I'm going to extend an invitation out to Will Harley again. We'll try to see what date that we can get him on if he can. Again, thank you for joining us. Great question and answer period. I hope everybody got their questions answered. Thank you guys for joining us. I love each and every one of you as our viewers. Thank you. Continue to watch On the Spot with David Rodgers. Not only do we have this election information, we've got other stuff and information that we pass out. So on behalf of the team, Mr. Byron Bagwell, who couldn't be here tonight, Mr. Austin Stevens, Mr. Dave Holland, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, I'm David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy homecoming week. Go Tornadoes, and we'll see you Saturday night. God bless you guys.